Contacted me a few weeks ago or months ago, I don't remember now, about bringing his car down from Dallas, and here it is. So what has happened is he noticed it started knocking, and he's been having some various other issues with the car. He wasn't exactly happy with the installation he got or the service he got, so he asked if he could bring it down to me and have me do a tear down of the motor, make sure he got everything he paid for, as well as make improvements, because per my reputation, we try to do the best that we absolutely can for the customer. So what's going to end up happening here is we're going to look and see if we got metal flakes in the oil. We're going to see if we do, and from there we'll decide if we have to replace out all of these stainless steel braided lines for his AccuSump system, which runs all the way to the trunk, unfortunately, so that's going to be quite a bit of replacement. I'd like us to take care of ceramic coating the header, because I pointed out this header, not only is it missing the factory heat shield here, but it's not ceramic coated. That's sort of a must-have, especially for a race car. You don't want heat in the engine bay. We're also going to heat shield this alternator. We're going to get that factory heat shield back in here. We're going to shield the transmission tunnel. We're going to take care of relocating the battery. But most importantly, we're going to be tearing down this motor and verifying that he has every part he paid for, trying to do essentially a failure analysis like we do with a lot of these builds that come in. Thus far, the only thing I've been able to notice right off the bat is that this is just a preference thing, but I would never use ARP hardware for the cam or crank because they do not have the same clamp load as the OE, and various people have had slippage issues with those. Other than that, this is supposed to have Esslinger stage 3 cams in it, and I'm going to have to contact Esslinger, but I don't think those are Esslinger stage 3s. They do not look correct, but we'll verify. Reviewing this AccuSump system over here, I couldn't find a check valve. I may be wrong, but I mean, we've always installed these things with a check valve so that, it doesn't feed backwards into the system, it feeds forwards into the engine. But it appears that the oil goes out over there through the cooler up to here, into this, and then out to the engine there. We have a temperature sensor, looks like it goes to the AIM unit, and we have another pressure sensor under here that looks like it goes to the AIM unit, as well as, I'm guessing this is a pressure switch. And then we have the, of course, giant solenoid for the AccuSump system running down to there. But like I said, there's no check valve. So a bit against normal practices that I'm familiar with. Also, they just sort of stuff these wires through the dash and just hit it with some RTV, I guess. I mean, who cares, right? All right, making our way through the teardown here, and we came across a really good find here. Just like I'd mentioned, that cheap balancer. This cheap balancer has broken. So nothing crazy to see there. Step over to the motor. So just notice this guy, this is cracking. That's not going to be good. This clutch looks like it's been burnt up, but this is a race car, so it's kind of expected. Seems to be a bunch of oil leaking all over here. I wonder what that's all about. Let's take a better look at that pulley here. So it is the cheap brand. It is an SK. SKs are, well, they're known for doing this. And you can see it just separated right there all around. Customer said he had a knocking noise, so hopefully this is all. We're going to drain the oil and check and see if there's metal in it. If there's no metal in it, then we're just going to essentially retime the motor, replace out these ARP bolts with OE bolts. And that should be it. This should be good to go after that. Probably going to end up replacing this guy as well. So what I've done in the past is, since this effectively leads to this, after you cut out the heater core, I'll run just a hose straight from here to here. So at least completes the loop and you won't have, cracking like that has. I haven't seen one of these plates before. It looks similar to the Moto East ones, but I don't see any markings on it that would indicate so, although it is covered in oil. So we're pulling all this stuff off. It has one of these cheap lightened flywheels, and it looks like it's been the crap burnt out of it. We're going to definitely have to put a new clutch on this thing. But these have been shown to break just like the cheap crank pulley around here, so I'm not going to recommend putting that back on. That tells you everything you need to know right there. And then this. Wow, instead of using a block-off plate, they've driven a 3/8 NPT here, and presumably this is just a bolt into here. There's no reason to do that at all. Like I said, a block-off is fine. And I don't know where these studs came from. These are really long studs. Like they're maybe ½ inch longer than factory. No positive or negative there, it's just an observation. Here we have the motor out of the car. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to check and see if the timing has slipped at all. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to check all of the lash specs on each of these cam lobes to see where they are. I will be removing all of the timing components. We're going to scope down a couple of items and just see how the inside of the motor looks. We're also going to take a sample of oil out of this thing. There's still oil in it. We haven't drained it, at least what it wasn't drained out of these. So we're going to take that off. Well, we want to see what this looks like. So I guess I'll time lapse this. I'm gonna call this motor probably good, man. It seems great. Okay, we're gonna push this off to the side there. That'll be fine. Cranks off by a slight bit. These spark plugs look like junkyard spark plugs.
Yeah.
Because they're Ford OEMs.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh my goodness, and he Loctited it. Looks like all new timing components as he paid for. Here's a friction washer. Cool. friction washer. Friction washer on the other one. Yeah, it's got friction washers. Okay, so all that's good. So it fits the same. So yeah, it must not have been in time because I attempted to screw this in. Time must have slipped just a little bit. Okay, well, I'm gonna get it away from TDC so we can spin those cams over and check all the lash on them. Okay, that's far enough off of TDC, I can start taking stuff off. Okay, we're gonna go down intake first.
Okay.
Intake 1, less than 7, less than 7, 7.
0.007.
You can just put 7s on there, I'll know what it means. I'm gonna remeasure. It could be an 8.
1, 2.
So we got less than 7, because that's as far as I can measure, right? Next one, we're gonna go with a 7. And 7. Seven. 8. I'll be a dick. It's pinned. It won't move. Less than 7, less than 7. That's all of them. Okay, now we have to do exhaust side. Exhaust spec is supposed to be 10 to 12. Ready?
Yep.
Eight. 9. 'Don't move.
Go to your home.
9. 10. 10. 8. 7 and 8. Okay, let me see. These are BC0403 exhaust cam. All right, so they're BC cams. He paid for Esslinger, he got BC. To me, that's kind of an upgrade because they're they're more expensive, but at the same time, I'd prefer the Esslinger cams. Could you write down a part number for me, please?
Go.
D-3507 point...
Hold on. D-3.
3507 .980 .866 .10.5 to 1. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now you can read it. Looks like I took some of this footage yesterday at a poor camera angle, so I'm going to come take it again. So let's measure our stroke. Currently, I just have this really long extension sitting down in cylinder 1. And we're going to just use this measurement stick. So currently, it looks like it's lined up right on 20. I hope that looks obvious. I'm going to take this. See how... Can I get it closer? Yeah, we're pretty much right at 20 millimeters. Okay, that's our lowest point. We can go up. Let's see if we can get that right to... Is it about 120? Let's bring it back down. It's right about 20 right there. I am a little bit past BDC, so let's back it up just a bit. Yeah, so 20 to 120, that is a 100 millimeter stroke. So this is not a 2.3 liter crank, as the customer alleged is to have had. All right, so next thing we're going to check is I wanted to show off the piston heads, because on piston number 2 there was a bit of a concern I had. So let's get this out of here. That's dirty. Cool. Okay, so we're just gonna drop this guy into here. So it's a decent looking piston. I don't have any complaints about this piston. This piston looks okay. Let's go to the next one. I can't really see anything on this. Let's rotate it over. This one, if I remember correctly, has the chip in it. One of these, I swear I saw a chip in it. Yeah, it kind of looks like it's chipped right there. Could be optical illusion, but it does kind of look like it. Oh, you know what? It may also just be the way that that relief is cut and the angle of my image, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go ahead and check this guy out. And the last one, let's rotate her over. Okay. Nothing really to see there. Now, another quick detail I wanted to mention was that the build list did mention ARP main bolts or main studs, and these are definitely factory. So I would be willing to bet that these were not removed in the first place, so the chances of these being race bearings would be low. But that's just a guess. There's no real way to verify the bearings, at least not reasonably.